is to come up with the awareness of fostering the understanding among the core workers. I request all the participants from across the country to make use of this forum to the best of their abilities. And I would like to take this opportunity to pray for all victims for whom affected with flood recently will be okay. So, and happy Merry Christmas for this weekend. And thank you and enjoy the session.
Thank you, Dr. Azlina, for your welcome remarks. Without further ado, now I'm pleased to invite Professor Dr. Nasruddin Mohamad to deliver his speech. The recording of the opening remarks will be presented.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Azrul Izham Hamzah, Deputy Director, Center for Leadership Sustainability, Higher Education Leadership Academy, ACAP. The honorable speakers, Professor Dr. Wan Ahmad Amir Zaiwan Ismail, Director, Institute for Poverty Research and Management, University Malaysia Kelantan, UMK. Professor Dr. Khalijah Awang, Department of Chemistry, Faculty of Science, University Malaya. Moderators, Associate Professor Dr. Azizah Mainal, Department of Chemistry, Faculty of Science, University Malaya. Professor Dr. Joseph Sahaya Anantangaraj, Faculty of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering Technology, University Technical Malaysia Melaka. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you and good day. On behalf of Akademi Kepimpinan Pendidikan Tinggi, ACAP, I am proudly extending my appreciation to everyone initiative in organizing the Staying in Sync, Fostering Understanding among Co-workers online forum. Education has been badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially on the issues of university dropout and learning loss. Post-pandemic has provided a paradigm shift in the way of improving education that is accessible for everyone. There has been a change of landscape of rapid digital information transformation in higher education institutions during the global pandemic. From disruption to recovery, the climate change, digital divide, increased focus on applied learning, physical test anxiety, and falling numbers of applicants to higher education clearly still exists, posing the challenge to recovery post-COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, during the post-COVID-19 recovery, we should leverage in transforming higher education by turning challenges into opportunities. Higher education had to react rapidly in helping to shape a better, more equitable and just post-COVID world. The Malaysian Education Blueprint, the MEB 2015-2025 Higher Education, is coming to the end of its term in the next 3 years. As society members and local leaders, academicians hold such a vital role in unlocking the potential of not just those in the higher education realm, but also the society. However, unlocking potential goes beyond just pushing people towards greatness. Employing the transformative power of education, unlocking potential also revolves around enabling people to pursue a meaningful life while utilizing their own strengths, capabilities, and skills. This, however, requires compassion, especially as we cope with public health and socio-economic uncertainties, where we are all learning to live with traces of isolation, fear, confusion, and grief. Ladies and gentlemen, compassion helps us connect with others, mend relationships, and move forward while fostering emotional intelligence and well-being. Compassion takes empathy on one step further because it harbors a desire for all people to be free from suffering, and it is imbued with a desire to help. Compassion also promotes employee engagement, dedication, and loyalty. What is more, employees who work together with compassion are more likely to cooperate and help each other out. This is why academia needs compassionate leadership more than ever. Compassionate leadership involves a focus on relationships through careful listening to, understanding, empathizing with, and supporting other people, enabling those who lead to feel valued, respected, and cared for, so they can reach their potential and do their best work. Compassion in leadership creates stronger connections between people. It improves collaboration, raises levels of trust, and enhances loyalty. In addition, studies find that compassionate leaders are perceived as stronger and more competent. Compassionate leadership is not just about sympathizing with other people's hardships, but also about seeing people as humans that deserve appreciation, respect, and love, which then allows them to fulfill their own potential. This forum will bring academicians on the journey of rethinking higher education and exploring humanizing academia with compassionate leadership. My fellow audience, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to UMK, UNIMAP, UNIZA, UPNM, UTA, UTAM, and UUM organization committees for the effort and commitment who worked to make this forum a reality. Lastly, I believe all of you will have an effective and fruitful session. I wish you all the best to the forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Nasruddin, for your opening remarks. For your information, we need to change our speaker due to unavoidable factors. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. Now, I would like to introduce you the first speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Razwan Abdul Rashid. Dr. Razwan is an Associate Professor in the Faculty of Languages and Communication, University Sultan Zainal Abidin, Malaysia. He is currently experiencing life as a diplomat for his secondment as the Director of Education Malaysia Jordan at the Embassy of Malaysia, Amman, Jordan. He obtained his PhD in education from the University of Nottingham, United Kingdom, and he completed his postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Leeds, exploring applied linguistics in an educational context. His research interests include teaching education, professional development, and contemporary discourse in online settings. He has been a keynote speaker at the International Conference on Teaching and Learning, Language, Literature, and Linguistics, a plenary speaker at International Conference on Creative Teaching, Assessment, and Research in the English language, and a featured speaker at Indonesia-Malaysia English Language Teaching Conference. He is the editor-in-chief of Journal of Nusantara Studies, a social science journal indexed in the Web of Science. He has had research articles published in Discourse Studies, Discourse in Society, Policy, Features in Education, and many more Scopus and WOS journals. He is the main author of 3 books. In 2019, Web of Science nominated him for the Malaysian Research Star Award in the category Research and Innovation Excellence, Research in Arts and Applied Arts. He has a deep passion for education and applied linguistics. Language is gorgeous art, and education is the foundation of a fruitful life. Dr. Razwan, the floor is yours.
Right. Hi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Au, for the introduction. And also thank you to the organizer, especially Dr. Lin, for extending the invitation to me. I think many of you are aware that I'm not the original speaker for this session. I am here to replace my colleague, Prof. Aminzal from University of Malaysia Kelantan, who cannot make it today because of some of the personal problems regarding flood in the East Coast and all this kind of thing. So I'll try to do my best within the time that I have to prepare for this session, sharing the experience and what I know from the leadership courses that I attended before. So I basically, since yesterday, was synthesizing all the prior knowledge that I have with hope that I will be able to share something useful, if not useful, something that will affirm something that you already knew in this session. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay. I cannot share my screen. I saw like disable. Okay, if you cannot share, I'll send the slide to you.
Prof, can you try now, Prof? Can you try now?
Okay, let me try. Okay, can you let me check. Okay, it works now.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, it works now. Okay. Yes, so I think Dr. Au has introduced myself just now. So basically, I'm now in Jordan. It's 4 a.m. now and it's winter. It's freezing cold, but I'm happy to be with all of you here. And I hope for a fruitful engagement session. So basically, when I was given the topic, staying in sync, fostering understanding among co-workers, what came into my mind is that I need to talk about something that relates to harmonious relationship between people at work. Because for me, for us to stay in sync, we need to be in a harmonious relationship that is free of conflict, which will affect understanding between us. All right, so I have divided my speech into 3 sections. The first one, I'll be talking about kind of like theoretical part, but I'm going to make it very easy, which is understanding the complex nature of human behavior. And the second part, I'm going to talk about the 5C method for us to develop the understanding, for us to stay in sync. And the last one, I'm going to share the 1 key strategy, which I found kind of like, this is quite interesting. It's quite relatable to me as one of the, you know, like people who have gone through different kinds of workplace from UNIZA, from, you know, when I was in the UK and then now in Jordan. So I thought like this one is really relatable. So I'm going to share it with you. Okay, so let's go to the first part, which is understanding the complex nature of human behavior. So basically, I would like to ask you, the audience, do you think that it is possible for us to know our co-workers, to know our colleague at work, to the extent that we really can understand their concern, their motivations behind their actions, behind their behavior at work? Do you think that by spending time with them 8 hours per day, you can get into their mind to understand the actual needs, to understand the reasons behind the behavior that they display to you at workplace? Do you think you are able to do that?
We can try.
You can try, yeah. Who's talking just now?
Oh, I'm Dr. Farah from University Kuala Lumpur.
Right, Dr. Farah. Yeah. So And most of the time, when you try to understand the reason behind the behavior displayed by your colleague at work, do you find it easy? Do you find it difficult, or how?
Yeah,
Dr. Farah?
yeah. Sometimes it's quite difficult to understand people, right? Because sometimes, especially when they try to deliver the instruction via maybe the social media, such as WhatsApp and etc. Right? But I think sometimes it's quite difficult to understand them. But sometimes maybe we can have some chemistry that, oh, we know what he trying to instruct us. So I think it depends on how we accept the instruction.
Right.
Is it okay?
So,
Sorry.
Dr. Farah, yeah, right. It's okay. So, Dr. Farah was talking about understanding the instruction given by the colleagues, perhaps by the superior and all those kind of things. So, what I'm trying to get into is that trying, because you remember, I'm shaping this session today. It's about developing harmonious relationship with colleagues at work, developing a relationship that is free of conflict, so that you can stay in sync, so that you can develop understanding between your co-workers. So basically, I agree with Dr. Farah Waida. I have the same perspective that to understand human behavior, to understand what your colleagues do at work towards you, towards your boss, or perhaps towards other co-workers, to understand the behavior is very, very difficult, because human behavior is very complex in nature. But one thing that we need to know, that I'm made aware is, though the behavior is complex, the motivations, the common needs behind each behavior shown is not complex. Basically, though all humans have complex nature of behavior, that Dr. Au can behave differently, Dr. Lin can behave differently, Dr. Farahida can behave differently, but there are something in common which influence those behavior. So this is what we call common needs among people, among humans. For example, like if you Rosenberg, the psychologist told us that humans have at least 30 basic needs. And I think the first one, I'm not going to tell all 30, but because I'm very sure everyone is familiar with the human basic needs. But then let me recap a few things. The first one is kind of like the survival needs. These are the needs for physical needs, the water, the food, shelters, and all those kind of things. And then we also have the relational need, the need to be loved, the need to be respected, the need to be valued, and all those kind of things. And then also there's spiritual need, the need for us to be connected to people, to the spiritual aspect, our creator, and all those kind of things. And then we have many more needs, which I'm very sure you all are very familiar with. So why these needs come into place now is because whatever attitude, whatever behavior that we see at our workplace, they are basically driven by these common needs. So in order to understand the complex nature of behavior at workplace, is for us to be able to understand the need behind this behavior. If we are able to understand the need behind this behavior, we are in a good position to have an improved relationship with our colleagues at work, which will elevate, which will foster the understanding between us. So yes, human behavior is complex, but the motivation, the need that drive that behavior is not complex. It's simple and it's relatable to us because humans share the common basic needs. Okay, let's look at this scenario, for example. You have children, you have people, you have youngsters who try to study very, very, very hard. For example, to go to Harvard, to go to University of Malaya, to go to Jordan, to go to UK to study. These people burn the midnight oil just to earn certificate to be successful in their life. And in the other parts of the world, in the world where they are torn with problems, conflict, war, you see a group of children are fighting. They develop their skills to kill people, they develop their skills to protect the country and all those kind of things. Those are the complex behavior. You are seeing now, in my example now, I'm giving you two different youngsters, both are youngsters, but in two different contexts, and they have two behavior. One youngsters study, there's also youngsters, but trying to develop themselves in try for certain behavior. If they give a situation to them, they have that view of different. However, need much stages. For example, need to be for their life. Is gaining the respect by furthering studies, and another one is gaining respect by defending their countries, by trying to preserve their tradition, their culture, their country, and all those kind of things. But in the end, both groups wants to be respected. So these are the common needs that we have as humans. So in order for us to understand the complex nature of human, we need to go beyond that behavior. What drives the behavior? And when we are able to see the need behind the behavior, then we will start to understand why this individual behaved that way. And coming to this realization that that you need to understand the human behavior by looking at their basic needs. I told you it will put you in a better position to have an improved relationship with your co-workers. For example, like one day when you go to work, when you go to the university, for example, and you have your friends who suddenly refuse to contribute, for example, who suddenly becomes very angry to you, or suddenly who talk kind of like very openly deconstructing their own values in front of you. So those are behavior. What we need to understand is the reason behind this behavior, why he or she is behaving this way. What are the needs that is not fulfilled in that person that you need to understand in order for you to elicit better behavior from the people? Is it the need to be respected that is not fulfilled? Is it the need to be valued? So those are those kind of things. So when you understand the behavior through understanding the needs that are not fulfilled, which lead to that behavior, then your action as one of the co-workers is trying to fulfill those unfulfilled needs, so that you have a better workplace, so that you are in a better sync with your colleague. Up to this point, do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm really worried that I'll be talking without making any sense to you. So I'll stop for a while here. I want to listen from you guys. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Anyone?
Prof. Adi,
Yes.
hi. So, Prof.
Hi,
Adi,
hi.
let me just get your insight on so far what I've gathered from this discourse. So
Right.
basically, what I think to put it in a nutshell, to just summarize everything, would you say that basically we go in with different behavioral patterns, we go in with different mentalities in the workplace, but knowing that all of us are actually ultimately trying to achieve a similar objective, having the same goals, makes it easier for us to professionally come to a compromise and just understand that we're all there to achieve, the ultimate goal, especially in terms of education, it is ultimately for student development. So whatever we feel about each other is irrelevant. It needs to just be thrown out the window so that we can work together in harmony.
Brilliant. Who's talking, by the way? You recap everything very well.
Thank you so much. This is Jared. Yeah, I'm Jared from Methodist College, Kuala Lumpur.
Wow, good,
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Jared. Yeah,
Sure.
So I'm happy that my message is delivered.
Oh, definitely. Because what you're saying, because what you're saying really strikes a chord with me. I think it's so pertinent in all our workplaces today. Yeah, definitely.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jared. So basically, the take-home message for the theoretical part is that to understand the human behavior, go beyond the behavior. You should look into what drives this behavior, identify the common needs, and try to fulfill those needs so that you have a harmonious relationship that is progressive. All right. So sometimes the common needs can be a little bit ambiguous. You don't know whether you, for example, if you see revenge, if you see colleagues taking revenge, do you feel that is it a common need to have revenge? So in order for you to identify the common needs, always ask yourself, if she is taking revenge, is also my common needs? So if it's not common, if not of your interest, then it's not a common need of human behavior, because all humans, their needs are positive. The needs to be loved, the need to be respected, the need to be valued. If you feel like the need is trying to make people feel pain, the need is trying to make people feel sad, those are not common needs. So taking revenge is not a common need because it is for him, but it is not for me. So it's not common need. But actually, you need to go beyond that, because when you take revenge, for example, you are trying to make other people understand. Those are the actual needs. Trying to make those people understand, for example, you caused this personal suffering to me, and now I'm going to do it the same to you, so that you understand the same feeling that I was feeling, for example. So the common needs are always positive. It's like so if you think revenge is one of the common needs, then you are not on the right line of thinking. You need to think more and more and more until you find the common needs which cause that behavior. All right. So wow. So those are So basically, this recap everything Jared has summarized to me. Yes, human behavior is complex, but their motivations and needs are not. So we all share common needs. You have this in mind. Take this message home. Whenever you see the behavior, think of the common needs and work on those common needs. This realization, this acceptance will definitely put you in a better place for you to have a progressive, harmonious relationship at work. Okay, so now I want to move on to the second part of my speech. All right, so I'm going to talk about the method. Okay, so this is the 5-6 method, the 5C method. In order for you to foster understanding, in order for you to develop harmonious relationship that is free of conflict, so that you can stay in sync with your colleagues at work. All right, so this is by Avison in 2017. I found out that this 5-seat method is really relevant to me. I'm not young and I'm not that old, but I'm 38 years old. But then I'm lucky to be able to experience different positions, different lifestyle at my workplace. At times, it was a moment before, long times ago, where all the time I took the attacking seat at my workplace. And there are also times where I always take the self-doubt seat, times where I have the mindful seat, the meerkat seat, the detective seat, the giraffe seat. So I'm going to explain to you basically what these seats are all about, and how they are related to the topic of the day. So basically, the 5 seats is actually trying to tell you to own your behavior, at work. So basically, you are responsible of your own behavior at work. Let's look at the attacking seat. Okay, so just take this for example. Like when let me just recall my a situation. Right. So before this, at an institution, when I was leading a research project, so I had someone I invited to be one of my group members to be in the research project. And one day I went to see him to discuss about the research project, and everything has been planned in advance. It's not kind of like a sudden meeting between me and him to discuss about this project. But when I knocked the door, when I opened the door, I saw this guy was sitting down on the chair, not even acknowledging my presence as a research leader in front of him, who come with all the files, a stack of papers to discuss about the research. And at that time, I have 5 options. I have these 5 options. Which seat I want to take in and facing this one guy in front of me, whom I have been kind enough to invite him to be with me in a secure research project, in a big research project. All right. So I can have the attacking seat, kind of like when I reached the room and I saw him sitting down on his phone, not even talking to me, not even acknowledging me, not even welcoming me to his room. It's my colleague at work. So I have these 5 options. I can do the attacking seat. The attacking seat, I can just, at that time, scold him, bodoh engkau ni, blah 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 blah, attacking seat. I'm here standing in front of you for 2 minutes already, trying to discuss with me, and you are on your phone. What's more important than this 78,000 research grant? We are supposed to discuss blah blah blah. I can straight away attack him. That's the first option that I have. And then the second option that I have to take the self-doubt seat. It's kind of like I can stand in front of him. I can have this kind of self-doubt. This person does not welcome me to his office to discuss about this research proposal. perhaps because he sees me, he views me as an inefficient research leader. Or perhaps he doesn't want to be in this research project anymore because I'm not a good research partner. Or perhaps it's because he found out that I'm not capable of doing this research. So I can take the second seat, you know. The first seat, the attacking seat, and the second seat, the self-doubt seat. Or I can take the third seat, which is the meerkat seat. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with meerkat. Meerkat is an animal in Southern Africa. Mostly they are in Southern Africa when they can sit still, but then only move their head. Maybe it can be like for 1 hour, for 2 hours, just observing their surrounding. So I can be there and taking the state, for example, like why is he behaving that way? Why he doesn't welcome me? Have I done something wrong? You know, I will keep questioning myself, but then slightly better than self-doubt. Now I'm not mercilessly blaming myself, doubting myself, but then I'm conscious now. I'm being mindful, trying to understand why this person this morning behaved to me like this, right? And then I can also have, I also have the option to take the detect stage, the detective stage. So this is where I'm trying to investigate when I want to look into myself. What can I do? How you know what's the problem, and then you started to find answers to your curiosity when you take the third stage. You know, all the questions that you ask when you are at the conscious seat, you are trying to answer in the fourth seat, the detective seat. You are trying to detect things to make sense of the problem. So I can also take the fifth seat, which is the giraffe seat. Giraffe seat is actually the most powerful seat, and why it is said giraffe is because if you are aware, giraffe has the biggest heart of all land animals. So this is fact. Giraffe has the biggest heart of all land animals, and it also has the longest neck. So by having giraffe as a symbol for giraffe seat, that means you are in a seat, in a mind, in a position where you can see things more comprehensively, having a biggest heart, trying to be empathy. And when you have this seat, what matters to you is to connect to that people. Regardless of whatever happens, you are there. You will own anything that you do, anything that you say, for you to connect with that people. And this is what we need at workplace. We will do everything to connect that people. And as I'm trying to understand this person by putting myself in a giraffe seat, kind of like, what is very important to him that I've been standing here for 5 minutes and he is still on his phone, does he disrespect me? As a research leader, he's very young. I'm an experienced researcher, more experienced than him. You know, I'm trying to understand why is he behaving this way. You know, and all of a sudden he showed me his handphone. He showed me his handphone, and he just posted a Facebook status saying like, I am very, very grateful to be in one team with Prof. Adi Razwan in this research project, one of the nominees of Malaysia Research Star Award by Clarivate Analytics. Wow. Can you imagine if I take the attacking seat straight away when he ignores me, I will just destroy everything. I will just destroy the relationship. I will create the conflict. I will stop being in sync with this person when he is very, very important to make my research progress. So do you understand what I'm telling you now? Is that all these 5 seats is actually telling you to own your behavior and try to take your times thinking and deciding, slow down your action, and decide which seat you want to take every time you are faced with unfavorable behavior at workplace, so that you can better stay in sync with your co-workers, and that's enable you to develop understanding between you. And the challenge in this 5-step method is to find balance. You cannot be always sitting at the giraffe seat. You cannot be always sitting at the detective seat, the mindful seat, the attacking seat. You need to find balance, know where to take a seat, and own your behavior. Is that clear so far? Yeah. I hope I'm putting something in your mind for you to at least think about it when we finish this session. All right. So I think I'm done with the second part. I don't know what time we have. How many minutes do we have now?
Actually, already over.
Okay. So let me just finish with one thing. The last point, the last part of my speech, which is that one helpful strategy. This has been told by many people around me, whom I see as a very successful leader, which is do not take things personally. So anytime, whenever you go to the workplace and then you see people get angry, don't speak to you, don't invite you for lunch and all those kind of things, don't take things personally. The first thing that should come to your mind is, it is not about me. It is not about me, so you don't take things personally. They get angry not because of me, because they have some common needs that are not fulfilled. They do not invite me for lunch, not because they don't like me, but because they know the food is not suitable for me. For example, don't take things personally. But you cannot always, all the time, think it's not about me, it's not about me, it's not about me, because in the end you'll be ignorant. So after you have, you need to know when to think it is now about me. When it is about you, what you need to do is that you need to speak up, but at the same time, be meticulous enough to have your discursive response as not to blame them. So speak up. For example, I feel a bit sad that I wasn't there in the lunch and all those kind of things. But do not blame the other person. Speak up so that your needs are heard, are visible by the people. So I think that's all. I don't want to take any longer. I thought I'm going to talk just for about 10 minutes. All right. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Laswan, for your inspiring speech, and thank you for introducing to us the 5 seat ideas. We will learn to take the giraffe seat with the biggest heart. Okay, thank you. So now we will take a short break. Okay, we will come back by 9:50. Thank you.
October 2006 witnessed the establishment of a platform through the Agreement of Memorandum Jemaah Menteri, which states the need for a training and development platform for tertiary education leaders. The Ministry of Higher Education is entrusted to develop the platform as it is deemed fit for MOHE to nurture, train, and sustain the skills and competencies of the higher education institution leaders. With that said, AKEPT as an agency under the ministry was born. Known as Higher Education Leadership Academy, AKEPT, or in the full form of its Malay name, Academy Kepimpinan Pendidikan Tinggi, has been playing its role through its objective for almost 20 years. AKEPT aims to develop leadership talents and potential in higher education institutions, HEIs, to lead their institutions more effectively, especially to face the challenges of global higher education in the future. In addition, AKEPT believes the enhancement of leadership must be holistically addressed, not just among academics, but also to cater to administrators' professionalism and ensure competent leaders and administrators are produced. Leadership development is essential at all levels to nurture a reliable talent pool for the long-term sustainability of higher education excellence. Located in the educational hub of Banda Enstek Negeri Sembilan, AKEPT boasts over 30 acres of sprawling compound, which houses high-standard facilities comprising an administrative building, halls, auditorium, lecture rooms, 4-star accommodation, sports facilities, dining hall. These facilities have witnessed various impactful programs being held, with prominent figures present. AKEPT has conducted a countless number of international forums and upskilling programs for higher education institutions, including 20 public universities and TVET agencies and institutions. It holds a huge responsibility to provide training programs and add value to the current expertise amongst the board of directors, high and mid-level administration officers in higher education institutions. To ensure continuous enhancement of its programs, AKEPT has extended its role via strategic partnerships and collaborations with various institutions. With many more impactful programs in the pipeline, AKEPT will surely continue to deliver on its promise as the preferred expert center in higher education leadership development towards producing respected, competent, and excellent leaders for the betterment of higher education institutions and to fulfill the national agenda.
Thank you for staying with us in the forum. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you the second speaker, Professor Dr. Khadijah Awang. Professor Dr. Khadijah is a professor at University Malaya. She obtained her PhD in Natural Products Chemistry from the University Rennes Descartes, Paris, France. She was an expert panel of knowledge transfer program at the Ministry of Education. She was the head of the Center for Community Networks at University Malaya. She is currently the coordinator of International French-Malaysian Natural Products Laboratory with CNRS. She is one of the 108 University Malaya researchers listed among world's top 2% scientists by Stanford University 2022. The rank of Knight in the Order of Palm Academic and an honorable consultant panel of the School of Malay Traditional Medicine, Cenderawasih University College. Professor Khadijah, the floor is yours.
Okey, tak apa, nanti dulu, nantikan sebentar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera to all. Everybody can be in touch, yeah? Okay, is everything okay? Okay, that's good. So, firstly, I would like to thank. Saya ingin ucapkan terima kasih, jutaan terima kasih kepada pihak penganjur, khususnya AKEPT dan sahabat saya Dr. Azizah yang telah menjemput saya untuk memberi syarahan pada hari ini, untuk actually to share, untuk berkongsi pengalaman dalam semasa kerjaya saya, ya, apa yang saya hadapi, ya, untuk memastikan supaya kita dapat bekerjasama dengan baik dengan semua sahabat-sahabat kita di dalam tempat kerja kita. Ya, ini adalah apa yang telah Dr. Azizah telah utarakan kepada saya. Ya, jadi saya telah bersetuju untuk sama-sama sharing lah. Bukannya saya tahu, tapi kita sharing, ya, kita berkongsi, insyaAllah. Ya. So, dengan ini izinkan saya untuk memulakan syarahan saya. Saya akan mulakan dengan sharing the screen, ya, sharing the screen. Sekejap, please give me 1 minute. Boleh tak tolong, can you please disable the participant screen sharing? Can you please enable it so that I can share the presentation slides? Hello? Okay.
Prof, yes, please. I think you can do it now.
Yes, thank you very much. Terima kasih ya. Jadi izinkan saya untuk memulakan siaran saya. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay. So the title of the talk today is Staying in Sync, Fostering Understanding Among Co-workers. Yeah. So okay, firstly, I would like to share with you the definition by the Cambridge Dictionary on understanding. Yeah. Okay, so from the dictionary, the meaning of understanding is a positive relationship, okay, between two people or groups in which they can feel sympathy for each other. Okay, so from the sentence below that I would like to share with you, we can see the importance of this, of having this understanding. Yeah, okay, from this sentence, let us share together. For peace to exist, there need to be a much improved understanding between all the parties concerned. So to have understanding, okay, is very important. Why? Because basically by understanding each other, we can have peace, we can have harmony, just like what has been expressed by our first speaker. Yeah? We can have harmony between us. Okay, so why do we want harmony? Why we want harmony? We want peace so that we can be together, we can work together to achieve our goals. Okay, be it the goals of a research group or the goals and mission and vision of the department of the university and our country. Okay, so to have peace is very important. Like what the Malaysian have said, yeah. Berat sama dipikul, ringan sama dijinjing. So when we are together, we do not feel the burden to achieve this goal. Okay, so we can achieve it effortlessly. Yeah, because we feel happy to do it together. So we don't feel the burden. Yeah, kita tak complain pun sebab kita sama-sama. Yeah, okay, so that's very important. Okay, now next. Okay, from what I believe, from my humble view, yeah, from my experience, yeah, the attributes that we should have, that we should practice here, in fostering understanding, yeah, we have to have effective communication and mutual respect among each other, with each other. Okay, so we have to communicate effectively. There's no use talking about something and actually people just listen and they don't really absorb it inside their mind, and it is not reflected in the actions. See, today we can see that we have a lot of these problems. We communicate, but it's not effectively. Okay, masuk telinga, like the Malay saying says, masuk telinga kiri, keluar telinga kanan. Macam tu saja. Just that. So that's why. So this means that communication has lapsed. Okay, and we must have mutual respect. Once we have mutual respect, once we care for one another, then we will take care of what is the substance that we are communicating with. Oh, my superior is asking me to do this. I will try my best to get it achieved. Oh, my students is saying this and this and this. My staff is saying this and this. I have to take care about this matter. Okay? Jadi tak masuk telinga kiri, keluar telinga kanan. Okay? Today we assume as though we have communicated, but basically we do not really communicate effectively because the effect is not there. Okay? And that is why. Why is it like that? Why is that so? It's because we don't really respect each other. We don't really understand each other. Okay, so this is what I think we have to practice upon. Okay, number two, I always practice, I usually observe. observe and analyze the people, the surrounding, the situation to understand why a person behave as such. Okay, if somebody says, Halijah, that person is A, B, and C. Okay, I take note, but do not be judgmental. Observe, analyze, and try to understand the person, his surroundings, the situations that surrounding him to make him seem to be like that. Okay, because that's perspective from different people. Different people have different perspectives over different people. Yeah, okay. Number 3, which is very important, is that we have to realize, we have to understand human nature, like what the first speakers have communicated just now. Yeah, we have to understand human nature. We have to realize human nature. So once we understand this, we are more forgiving, and we can accept, okay, things much easier. Okay, but we don't just stay there, just accepting, that's it. No, we have to do something to improve matter. Okay, and we have to be professional. No matter how much you don't quite like that person, okay, leave it just as there. Okay, but when it comes to work, be professional. If you're not happy with him or her, okay, put it aside and get the work done. Okay, that's number 1 thing. Number 2, do not be angry of their people, meaning their staff, their student, or whatever. Okay, we have to be professional with everybody. Okay, the most important thing, we can get the task done. If it cannot be done, we have to think and analyze and be honest with each other why it cannot be done or why it fails and how to improve matter. Okay, we have to be professional. Okay, we are all at the same level. Yeah, regardless of who you are, professor ke, tak professor ke, we are the same. Okay, now, okay, I go back. Okay, having said all this, these are theories, these are things that we say, we know that we have to do this. We have know where we have to try to understand people. We know that we have to communicate effectively. We know that we have to be calm and analyze things. But why didn't we do it? Why didn't we do it? We know. Knowing is one thing, but being able to do it is another thing. Today, we know a lot of things. We know a lot of theories. We know a lot of steps that we should do this, we should do that, we should do that. But why aren't we able to do it? And if even we prosecute it, why cannot we do it effectively? Why? We have to ask ourselves why. Okay, why we cannot open our heart to do those things effectively? Okay, kenapa? Mengapa? Okay, so that means there is something that is stopping us from doing that. Okay, that is something that is stopping us from doing that. So going back to my first slide, yeah. Okay, we have to find peace. Okay, now before we find peace with our colleagues, with the people around us, okay, first and foremost, we have to find peace within our own self. Okay, we ourselves have to be calm. Okay, we ourselves have to be in peace. Then only we can be strong enough to face the situations around us, to face the people around us. Okay, so we have to understand ourselves first. Before understanding others, we have to understand ourselves first. We have to understand our existence. We have to understand our being, okay, ourselves, yeah. So we know as human beings, we are not just physical. We are also, we have 3 important parts in our being, okay, in our being, our soul, our body, and our mind, okay. A very famous author, yeah, Deepak Chopra said, when mind, body, and spirit are in harmony or in peace, happiness is the natural result. So once we are in peace with ourselves, once we are happy, then our heart ni kita berjiwa besar, okay? Our heart is big. We have enough space, okay, to understand others, okay, to accept others. We have enough space within our heart, yeah, within ourselves, okay. Now, how to do that with our soul, kan? Okay, it's good to do prayers, to have gratitude, yeah. Every morning kita kata bersyukur, alhamdulillah lah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, and then When we see other things, oh syukur Allah, we are luckier, we are in a position that we can help others, you know. So bersyukur tu very important. Love, affection, compassion. Okay, so we have to practice this. Okay, and our body, we have to be healthy. If we are not healthy, we cannot do many things. Okay, we cannot have a healthy soul and also mind. Okay, so we have to have balanced diet. We need to have good exercise routines. We have to have sleep, enough sleep and enough rest. Okay, we have to have a balanced body. And then with a balanced soul and body, we can have a very balanced mind. Okay, and how to get that? We need to contemplate, meditate. We have to have positive thinking. And with this, we can create understanding within our own self, and then we can emanate this understanding with those around us. Okay, hence our family, our colleagues, our peers, our staff, our superiors, everybody. Yeah. Okay. So about on all of these aspects, I want to take. I will elaborate more on positive thinking. Okay, in our workplace, as leaders, as bosses, okay, as scientists, as pegawai and everything, we must have positive thinking. Okay, we cannot be weak. We must have positive thinking because we are the leaders. We have to lead. Okay, we have to lead. Okay, so we have to accept the fact that life is full of trials and tribulations. Yeah, ujian dan dugaan. We can't run away from it. But we must rise after each failure and continue to move forward by thinking positive. Okay, and how can we think positive? We must know that everything happens, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-azim, okay, with God's will. And there must be wisdom to everything that happens. We must accept God knows best. Okay, and we have to have husnul dhun with God. We know that if things happen, it is for the betterment. Okay, to ourselves, to our surroundings. But we have to take things positively. Okay, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have said in his hadith, which I love this very much. Yeah, no tiredness, exhaustion, worry, grief, distress, or harm befalls a believer in this world. Not even a thorn that pricks him, but Allah subhanahu wa taala, expiates some of his sins thereby. Okay, the saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, dear friends, if we are tired with our work, we are exhausted, okay, we are worried with our KPI, whatever grief, distress, understand that if we are patient, if we are calm, and if we face the situation positively, okay, we know that God has already forgiven our sins. Okay, so already that is a positive thing. Okay, so that means by positive thinking and making positive actions, already we have won. Already we have won. Okay, tak susah pun. Kita dah menang pun. Okay, because life is not just on the earth, it's also the hereafter. So you know why you exist on this earth. Yeah. So okay, this is my favorite philosopher. Okay, he is a philosopher by the name of Jalaluddin Rumi. He always said, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Okay, so if we want to have a good environment with our peers, with our staff, with our co-workers, okay, it helps us a lot, okay, by changing ourselves first. And what do we mean by changing ourselves first? Number one, we self-analyze ourselves, okay, and with what we see and we observe, do not be judgmental. Okay, that helps a lot, okay. We must have husnul dhun, that means bersangka baik, okay, with everybody around us, okay, that's with us. And then we've got to bersangka baik with him, that what happens, there must be a hikmah with what happens. Okay, so there must be something good about things. Okay, yeah. So we have to have husnul dhun. Okay, not only with our people around us, but most importantly with God. They must be hikmah. So this will make you positive. Okay, and then generous at heart. The Hindustani word is Dilwale. I like this movie, kan Dilwale ni. Okay, so we forgive and forget easily. Okay, we forgive and forget. Okay, because our heart is happy, so we can have a lot of space to forgive and forget. Okay, I have a lot of space to accept others, their differences. Okay, celebrate the differences, the diversities, because this will make our life more colorful. For us researchers, that's very important because it will create ideas. Okay, for me, that's very important. It will create ideas. And from those ideas, we can do a lot of research. We can form a lot of networks. We can publish a lot of papers. We can, after that, we can help our nation further by implementing what we have done in our research, okay? By putting it into action for our society, for our country, yeah? But having said that, okay, we understand this, we understand that, okay? We must stick to our principles, the good principles. We must be principled and tactful in our actions, okay? Meaning, if we don't agree with something, what our superior said, we don't just say, this is stupid. Don't say like that. We will say, whatever you said, there is some benefits to it, okay? I can see the reason, okay? But however, I think, blah, 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 you see, maybe this move perhaps is quite unjust to our people, quite unjust to the staff. It's just too much. It's burdening them, okay? We can say that. Maybe we have to do things in steps rather than, we just say it. Okay, so we have to say it in a very tactful manner. Okay, we have to say what they've done, their effort, in their thinking. Okay, it's good. I can see that. But perhaps we cannot do it now because of the situations around us, because of the capacity of our people is not there. So we have to be tactful when we want to talk to our superior when we don't agree with what they say. Okay, for example, kita tak boleh just cakap like that. And then with our staff, okay, we have to listen to them. Sometimes I always give them some chores to do, blah, 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 blah. And then they say, Prof, you know, this is this, and that. This is not very possible. Okay, then I will counter them. And then I will say, why do you see that? Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you feel. So I will listen. After that, I will accept sometimes. And then at another time, I will accept everything. Depending on situation. And sometimes I will just say, no, you must try, you must not give up. It's not impossible. So depending on times, you have to act upon with great understanding of your people, okay, with your staff, because we have to move forward. No matter what, we have to move forward, right? So how to move forward in a manner that's harmonious between our people. So in having said that, okay, I have actually ended my talk. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. If there is any question, I can entertain them, inshallah. Thank you very much. Terima kasih, ya.
Thank you very much, Professor Khadijah, for an inspiring speech. I think we have to always keep the positive thinking, okay, as this is also will help us to live better and work better with our colleagues. Okay, without further ado, so I will pass the floor control to the moderators, Professor Dr. Joseph Anand Thangaraj and Associate Professor Dr. Aziza Mainan.
Saya pergi balik dekat page tu. Oh, stop share.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this online forum on compassionate leadership. And myself is Prof. Anand from University Technical Malaysia, Malacca, and my friend PM Dr. Aziza from University Malaya. We too will be assisting you in this online forum session as a moderators. So our role of moderators here is to bridge between the speaker and then the participants mainly. So we have few things to ask based on the session and then some pre-planned questions. But we also at the same time looking at your chat box. And if you have any questions, either generally or specific to the speakers, you can highlight, and then we will take it over, and then we will pass it to the speakers for today, and then we will get the answers and we continue our forum. And most probably, I will be focusing on questions that is posted to Associate Professor Dr. Razwan, and then my colleague, my friend, PM Dr. Aziza will be picking up the questions which is related to Prof. Khalija. So this way we can share our workload. So very simple. So as good as a compassionate leadership among ourselves. Okay, so maybe I can start with our first speaker, Dr. Razwan. First of all, we are sincerely thanking you. So your time and then your efforts. So unfortunately, we couldn't bring out our previous speaker, Prof. Amir from UMK, because that particular areas are heavily affected by flood, and then the internet connections were all poor. And then we were trying a kind of whether we can postpone or not, but we decided that many participants are interested, and then they are all very keen and thrust to see this particular one. So we decided, and then now the next job is somebody we have to replace, not just replacing one-to-one, but we need to get a good speaker, and then who can really share his knowledge. And we found that this is a very right person, and I should thank to our leader for this project, Dr. Nurliana, for immediately. So this was all done only on yesterday, not quite far away. So yesterday we have decided, and then finally we found something like the right person on the right time. Thank you, Dr. Razwan, for your time, efforts. And he said he's in the early morning now, 4 a.m. So just for us, he's still okay. So thank you very much for your, especially the ideas that you also shared, especially on the 5-seat and then one good strategy. Okay, so I will just ask myself, or maybe put myself in a floor. Even I myself is an expatriate staff here in Malaysia, but I'm here already about 17 years. And then I have an experience with the private university before, and currently I'm in the public university. But when we moving along with our friends or colleagues as peers in the compassionate leadership, we will find something not maybe we may acceptable in terms of hierarchy. Hierarchy meaning to say, for example, myself and Dr. Razwan are friends in the same faculty or maybe in the same university. And when he moved up to a position whereby he become the Ketua Jabatan or maybe Dekan or maybe some kind of administrative positions, then the relationship changes, but the way have to be changed, right? I cannot talk to him anymore like the same way as like just friends, or maybe the policy matters. And sometimes we may have a questions to ask, but it cannot be like anymore as a friends. It has to go through like a hierarchy. And that's where I found that sometimes we may feel a bit gap, or maybe we find it there could be a little bit. I'm not saying that totally people are moving away, or maybe they are not entertaining, etc. But this is where sometimes we can see that there is a gap. So in your experience, could you please kindly share with us how this hierarchy, especially in the compassionate leadership, needs to be handled? Or maybe you can share your experience, or maybe you can say a few words how it could be. I think this is where most of us may be wondering. He was my friend, comes to me with coffee every day, everything's fine. This is most of the time. But some other time, it may be also going to the other way around. Now this time, it's not me looking at you differently, but people, other people looking at us differently. You see, now he become the, whatever be the position at KJ or Deccan, and now he's, fostering this particular person very often, but not to us evenly, or maybe. So there may be, we can see some kind of difference. Could you please address on this, Dr. Razwan? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Anand from UTM, right? Thank you for putting out something that I'm very, very sure that is relatable to many of us here, the audience. If you have been at workplace for some time, you will be having kind of like are your friends, your colleagues whom you have been working together in the research group, and then suddenly he goes up, to a higher position, and then you started to kind of like receive less time to talk to them, kind of like. But actually, these all goes back to the where are we going to put the professional versus personal boundary? Yeah. So basically, like for me, even if my friend, even he is my close friend, for example, we have been working in FRGS for 5 FRGS, but then when it comes to work, I will still be addressing him professionally. For example, if I need something that is about work, though he is my friend, and now he is, for example, the Vice Chancellor, I will not be asking him work-related questions after office hour, because I know that professional needs to be, professional matters need to be done professionally, regardless of your relationship with them. So basically, it's kind of like deciding when it's personal and when it's professional. I have the same experience, exactly the same experience with you. Before this, the former Vice Chancellor of UNIDZA, he used to be my friend. Kind of like we worked together in research project, we published papers together, and that was before he was appointed as a Vice Chancellor. No, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academy. And soon after he went into that position, kind of like replying my text become less frequent and all those kind of things. But then I never take the attacking seat, I never judge him. I never attack him, kind of like I have the big heart seat, trying to understand he's busy and all those kind of things. So this goes back to what Prof. Khadijah has said. It's all about positive thinking. It's all about trying to see things from a positive perspective. And I think this is the key of all compassionate leadership, when you are trying to see not what's wrong with the people, but then kind of like to see things in a way that it will give you a satisfying interpretation of what's going on. So I think that's the key of all these. But I'm very sure in this kind of things, even though the conversation become less frequent, the text reply become less frequent, but because we used to be his friends, so we used to be close together, whenever we have problems, professional is there as a professional, but trust me, someone who has a big heart will not let his friend sink alone, especially when he or she is in a position that he can take we off from the drowning. Thank you, Prof. Anand. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much. So I think PM Dr. Aziza can
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Prof. Khadijah, for being with us today. I'd like to echo some of the sharing that you shared with us just now in your presentation. So perhaps you did answer the first question that I'm about to ask, but maybe you want to expand on it. You mentioned that to make this work, i.e. to stay in sync and fostering understanding among the co-workers, it is very important for us to first build or promote or inculcate some good characters. You mentioned about not being judgmental, to be kind among the co-workers. Now, I think my question is, how do you even begin to promote these good characters among the co-workers? Because I think it's something that sometimes we are oblivious to. of our behavior, and we may not realize that we may not act accordingly. So there must be some kind of continuous awareness that we should be kind and non-judgmental and all the good stuff that you mentioned. So what are your thoughts on this? What kind of activities maybe we can actually do so that everyone is aware that they have to continuously be kind to everyone?
Thank you, Aziza. If you ask me, the first thing that you have to do, okay, everything that we want to do, everything and anything, if you want to be successful and you want to be sure of anything that we want to do, kan? Okay, the first thing, kan, for me, you must relate yourself to God. This is for me, okay? When you do things, that means you will never lose anything. You will not lose by being good, okay? Because today people will calculate, okay, if I do this, do I get this? If I do this, I don't get this. You see what I mean? Okay? Number one. So you relate to everything, that whatever good that you do, okay, even if everybody is mocking at you with the good that you do, if people are saying you are stupid to do that good thing because nobody appreciates you, you know God will appreciate you. So keep on doing the good thing, okay? Because life on earth is just for a while. The real life is in the hereafter. So whatever you earn here, you will earn a lot in the hereafter. So you know already that you win. So that you have to put in your heart, in your mind, positive. Be positive. Okay? That's number one. Number satu, memang macam tu. Okay? Now, number two, we have to understand reality also. Okay? I always talk to my young colleagues. Okay, we have to be compassionate. We have to understand this and that. Okay, we must know. We must be honest with ourselves. Yeah, and the surroundings. Okay, of our capacity. Okay, kita jangan kadang-kadang overdo certain things. Sometimes one we can be okay. Usually, the most important thing is that for us to be moderate. Okay, I always remember when Rasulullah said, "You work as hard as though you're gonna live forever, but you pray as though you're gonna go tomorrow." So what does that mean? He's trying to tell us that we must be moderate. And moderation for everybody, the ruler is the calculation is different. What is moderate to you may slightly differ to what is moderate to me. Okay? You put in your goals, okay, what is the moderate way of getting to it? Okay? We must accept that we make mistakes. Okay, but we must also understand that if we learn from the mistake and we look at it positively, actually it is a plus to us. It helps us to be better. It strengthens us. For example, our immune system. Okay, when we get sick, it's not all bad. It is actually to train our immune system, to strengthen our immune system, so that when we have other problems later with other attacks from viruses or whatever, our body is ready. Okay, so all these trials and tribulations is actually strengthening us if we take it positively. Kita bersah kat Tuhan, kita buat, we respect everybody, okay? We must be principled, okay? We are understanding, but we must be principled. Like I tell you, we have to be firm, but when we want to put forward our ideas, our belief, we have to do it in a way that it's in a very tactful manner, amat berbudi bahasa. Then we don't hurt others. We might have hurt them a little bit, but then we know, as professionals, we accept that. Okay? Professional people will accept that. Yeah, so we have to move forward. Yeah, kita mesti move forward, and we have to understand today. Okay, like many people ask me today. Okay, Prof. Okay, you want to be compassionate, you want to be generous, you want to be understanding. Supposedly you're a boss. Okay, and you have your young staff with you. You have your students. Okay, okay, but to get your PhD, you need to have 2 publications, for example. You cannot say, oh, you don't have like to publish 2 publications. I understand your situation, this and that. Of course, we understand the situation, but we must find a solution. So even if you want to finish your PhD in 6 years, it's okay, I don't mind. I will be patient to be with you as a supervisor. I will teach you and I want you to learn, but you still have to publish too, whether you finish it within 3 years or 4 years or 6 years. You see what I mean? You still have to reach your goal, but you reach your goal within the capacity that you can, that you have. Okay? You are doing that to yourself, to your colleagues, to your staff, to your student. Understand them. But what has to be met still has to be met. Okay. Rather than we go to the chancellery, why 2 papers? Can you reduce it to 1 paper? No, don't do that. You help them. Okay, you help them to achieve that 2 papers. You build the strength in them so that they are sure they have a very strong confidence within themselves that they can do it. That is what we should do. Okay, understanding does not mean that you say, oh, tak payah buat. No, does not mean that. But you do it in a manner that is within your capacity. Okay, and that capacity can be improved. How do you improve that? Build your heart, build it, build ourselves, within ourselves. Okay, when I say build within ourselves, meaning you must understand, you build your mind, your soul, and your physical. Okay, you can't think well if you sleep at 3 o'clock and you wake up at 5 o'clock. You can't think well. Okay, maybe once in 2 or 3 months, it's okay. You have situations like that, but not every day. Okay? You have to take the fresh air. You have to go for exercise. You have to keep up. Okay? Yeah? You be generous. You do something good, then you feel good. When you feel good, you got good molecules coming out from your body, isn't it? So you have to do that. You have to feed your mind with good thinking, good readings and all that. Okay? So kita kena buat macam tu. So I hope I have answered your question, Aziza. Is it okay,
Prof?
Do you think I answered your question?
Somewhat, Prof. Maybe if I can just extend a little bit, within the department, for example, how do you, maybe sort of like campaign the good characters? Do you have, like advertisement, outside the building, inside the building, everyone in the building saying, be nice, smile, be kind? Will that be, make the people, conscious that, oh, I need to smile?
Yeah, okay, you need to smile. Okay, you can put that. You can put advertisement, things like that. Semua tu boleh. Okay. You want to write, you want to show your from the media, social media, you can show cartoons or actings or whatever, you can do that. Okay, you can do that. That is like advertisement, like you said. Yes. But you can make it more effectively if every one of us, okay, we do it within our small community. You start it first with your own staff, 2-3 people, kan? Your own students, 2-3 people, kan? Tahu tak? And then go to the head of department for your office, okay? Go and talk to them, smile at them, talk to the head of department, talk to the people in your labs, okay? For example, okay? You start it first. So once you've started it, okay, the others will follow. The others will follow. Okay, it's good. We are human beings, Aziza, okay? Communication is very important, and human communication is very, very, very important. Okay, if you ask me, Prof, you want to give a talk? Remember when you asked me in the beginning, I always told you that I prefer face-to-face. Face-to-face, because it is more effective. Just that. Okay, it is more effective. So if you want other people to do good, you do it first. You do it first. You do it first in the small level who is within your group. Lepas tu, you go to the jabatan. Okay, and then contact with the people in the faculty. Okay, and then we do something together. Okay, we start to do it first. So once you do it, others will follow. Others will follow. Don't wait until others do first. No, you start first. You start first. And human contact is very important, not just advertisements. You see what I mean? Human contact is very important. It's just like I said, Assalamualaikum Aziza on WhatsApp. How do you feel when I say, Assalamualaikum Aziza, I angkat tangan, I peluk you pagi-pagi? How do you feel? It's different, isn't it? Different, right? So that human contact is very important. Today, in this world of high technology, what we are lacking is, we are lacking to be human, actually. We have too much artificial intelligence, artificial feeling, everything is on screen. We don't meet, we don't talk. Okay, we don't try to understand each other. So we understand a lot of theories, but when it comes to implementation, we are not very, very successful. That I must tell you. That is why today, if I ask everybody around me, ada saja rasa sedih, rasa terpinggir, okay? Rasa tak puas hati, betul tak? But Even with all the technology, why can't we communicate effectively? That's why I said just now, effective communication. So if you cannot communicate with the keyboard, you go and see that person. But before you see that person, prepare yourself first. Strengthen yourself first. Be calm. Okay. Have an open heart. Tak? Yeah. Okay. Tenang. Then you go and see. Okay. So if you think something is unfair or something is missing, there is lacking of interactions within the people in the department and so on. Okay. If you think there is a problem, you go and see the superior and let's discuss. And you go and see the people that's working with you, the staff. I always go to see the supporting staff. Okay, I'm close to them. I will have a chat with them. What do you want? What do you think? Do you think I'm arrogant? Do you think I'm this? Do you think I'm that? If I'm wrong, please tell me. You see what I mean? So with different people, the way you interact is different. Like just now, there's a question of hierarchy, right? So when you interact with your superior, you must have a certain formality, but you must show with honesty what you want. You put forward tactfully. Dengan hormat. And if he were to be your friend, bila you rasa you nak gelak-gelak, you nak ketawa, you nak ni, ajak dia keluar makan, keluar minum. You see, I have friends who are on top and they said, when sometimes I ask them for lunch or dinner, and they say they are so grateful because they are so lonely up there. They want to talk to us actually. It's not easy to be a leader. It's not easy. Okay, so talk to them. Try to understand their feelings, you know. But kita selalu kepikir, oh, kenapa macam ni? Betul. We prepare ourselves and then go and see that person first. Tanya nicely. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Why do you think it's like this? I feel that you are not treating me very well. I feel that I'm not this one. You cakap truthfully, tapi cakap cara baik. And then you will realize that, this is not what I think before. And then you can be happy to go and do your job. You can be more positive and you can be more successful, inshallah.
Thank you, Prof.
This is my view. This is my view because this is also what I do actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Prof. Joseph.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Khalija. Now I want to ask something, sharing, and then maybe ask like a question to our speaker, Dr. Razwan. Okay, as Prof. Khalija also pointed out, now the human contact is very important, and then only you can be in good. But I'm assuming that we are all like a tertiary educators. I mean, mostly in the university educators. But here, what the difference I can see, especially between the other group of workers and then the university staff, we are actually not connected physically. Okay, meaning to say, if I'm assuming that there is a school teachers, the school teachers have only one staff room. Maybe, you know, everybody comes in the same room in the morning and then say good morning or whatever, and then how are you, and then what's your plan, you know, everything to be shared, and it's like a close one. And even I can see if you go to a small department, whichever it is, but when it comes to university atmosphere, being lecturers, for example, teachers here, and we are kind of separated, you know, we used to meet sometimes once in 3 months during the exam board meeting, or maybe, you know, the math measured faculty board meeting, or some kind of, you know, senate, and we are already going with the kind of, you know, we have already something to do for that particular meeting. Exam board meeting means I'm busy with, you know, how the questions I need to moderate, so all those things, and we have a very less time, you know, being together, and the human contact, as what Prof. Khalija mentioned now, right? The physical or maybe, you know, one-to-one communication is lacking, especially in the tertiary educators or maybe the university staff. Whereas other places, at least we can have a time, you know, tea time, something like that. So sometimes maybe my friend is just next to my door, or maybe, you know, one door next to me, but still I don't know what's going on to them or her. Until otherwise, we see in the WhatsApp group that so-and-so happened, whether it is positive or negative. Even if you know, they get a new baby or maybe new house, or maybe even they are sick and whatever, you know, even some of the close relatives passed away, but sometimes we don't know, even though they are just next to us, but we come to know through the WhatsApp group, or maybe some kind of official notice from the info university, something like that, right? And this makes these days, we are actually moving far away. Sometimes I used to be very close with my friend who is very far away in overseas, but I'm not too close to my colleague or maybe peers who are just next door, you know. I mean, I can say this is practically. So even when we go like, anything, now we are looking at all our mobile phone or maybe smartphone. I mean, how many steps I'm walking in. I'm not spending time with my, friends or even family sometimes, right? I mean, these days, even if you go to a restaurant, everybody order the food and then we are watching our mobile phone. So this is the culture now. So being in this particular one, even with our family and friends are like this, and in the university atmosphere or maybe in the working atmosphere, how to build, being sync or, being together, especially human contact. Do you have anything to share on this particular one? How we can improve on that? Sorry, Prof, you are muted. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Prof. Anand. All right. So I think right. I think many of us face similar problems, similar scenario, but I think this goes into kind of like if you watch TED Talk, all those kind of thing, like there are many speakers, many leaders are talking about differentiating between friends and colleagues, right? Kind of like so I think like for me it's fine. This is my take personally. For me it's fine for me that I don't know a lecturer next to me what they eat, whether they give birth or all those kind of things for me because they are my colleagues instead of my friends, as long as our professional relationship goes in harmony. But at the same time, I want to share my experience here in Jordan since I work at the embassy with all the diplomatic officers, PTD. I thought like the way they maintain their relationship is beautiful. Kind of like the way they show. We don't really meet each other because like at the embassy we have like 4 different departments. But then the beauty of this, kind of like once a while you see like you have a gift at your door, without even you meet each other, but then you give sometimes roti gardenia, those kind of things from them, kind of like so. So I thought like this is beautiful. This kind of like because everyone is busy, everyone goes here and there, but then the touch happens indirectly, kind of like putting some gift at the door, this kind of thing. Like for inviting once a while here and there. It doesn't have to be all the time, but somehow the relationship grows professionally. I myself don't know what they did at home, what kind of struggles that they face, unless they come for a disclosure to me. That's it. I understand what you raised, but for me, colleagues, they are colleagues. Unless they are your colleagues who are also your friends, then it will take what happens in the relationship to another level. Thank you, Prof. Anand.
Prof, thank you very much for your sharing. I think we can continue with Dr. Aziza.
Right, thank you, Prof. Joseph. I would also like to welcome all participants. If you have any questions, you're welcome to share your questions in the chat box. Either me or Prof. Joseph will read out your questions, whether it's specific questions to our speakers or just general questions, or we will share those questions to our speakers. Right, back to you, Prof. Halija. Okay, my next question, a bit hot, the question. What are your thoughts on favoritism that take place in the workplace and that may certainly hinder everyone to stay in sync? So what can stop this actually? What causes it actually, and how can we stop this?
Okay, if you ask me, it's not easy to stop because favoritism can also be the reality there is favoritism, or sometimes it's perception. If you understand what I mean, well, let me say this way, okay? First, you have a situation and you think there is favoritism, okay? Agree, Aziza? Betul, yeah? So a few people say there is favoritism. So this boss favors certain group of people or certain people, okay? Okay, this is our perception. This is our perception. Now, okay, first and foremost, the first thing that we have to understand is we have to understand human nature. Okay, so if we think he is favoring somebody or a certain group of people, let us try and look and observe and analyze what makes him that way. Okay, boleh? We analyze first so that we try to understand first. Not that we say that it's correct, no, but at least understand why it becomes like that. Okay, then we have an open heart, we are more understanding, betul tak? And then we can be more forgiving, but we have to find a solution how to solve this. Then we can stop what's the problem, isn't it? Okay, so first, analyze first, strengthen yourself first. Okay, like I tell you, okay, if he favors the blah, 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 but you believe rezeki is in the hands of who? It's in God's hand, right? So continue doing good. Continue doing your work positively. Okay? Your research, regardless of what is the result, continue doing it. You believe in it, isn't it? Do it. Okay? Your teaching, your way or whatever. If you think from others, you need to improve it. Do your work. But even though they do not accept it, they do not acknowledge it, you still continue your work, your good work. Okay? Okay? Analyze the situation. Okay? Now, after that, if you ask me, for me, I always love to have an honest conversation with the person that I have problem with. Okay, at least I try to find out. Okay, so I will go. Usually, I will discuss. I make an appointment. I will talk nicely, blah, blah, blah. I even, at one time, I advised one of my students who thought that she was mistreated. There is favoritism. So I said, okay, show your excellence, fine, that's good. And after that, you go and have a nice talk with that person, with that superior, okay? So she really went, okay? This one is, and then she got a very good answer and she's very happy. And after that, even the superior accepts her better and then offers her something that is very good. Okay, you understand what I mean? So first she starts with favoritism, and after that, when the boss understands her, and when she understands the boss why he took such action, they were accepting each other, and after that, she got what she wants, and the boss is happy, she's also happy. Okay, so this is what I always do. Also, usually I will go and meet, or if not, if I cannot meet, I will write. And usually I will write in the email, or sometimes I write in the cards. I send him a card or something, okay? And explain things. I write a letter, okay? Or some people, sometimes certain people, they just do not want to accept you. Yes, sometimes it happens, okay? Sometimes you are in a situation where certain people just cannot accept you, okay? Usually this happens when we have rivalries, which is true, okay? Especially in the university, we are in a very competitive ground. Okay, everybody is very competitive. Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to be blah, 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 blah again. So it's very competitive. So what do? Okay, you forgive her. You still send her or she or he a card, Hari Raya, you know, maaf zahir batin. And just do your part. Do it nicely. And then you pray God that to give you strength to face this situation in patience and with wisdom. And also to enlighten these individuals so that they will be also a better person, a more understanding person. Okay, so that's the thing. So for me, it's always first, calm yourself down first, strengthen yourself, continue to do the good things, the positive things, okay? And after that, you meet that person or you write to that person, okay? But you put forward your discussion in a very tactful manner, okay? Then you pun puas hati and you move forward because rezeki is in the hands of God. No worries, okay? No worries. And if there's jealousy, that's normal. That means that you are doing something good. It's normal. Kan? You're doing something beautiful. People jealous. Okay? Why she get to do what she likes? Aziza, I know that you are passionate over certain things. You want to do what you like. So, because you are really true in your feelings and you really do what you want to do. Okay? Continue, inshallah. And if we can find critics, criticism that can improve you, take it and move forward. Okay, don't worry about if there is favoritism. What? Because rezeki tangan Tuhan. Don't worry. Be truthful. Meet them. Talk to them nicely so that you puas hati. You don't keep things in your heart. So that your heart is open. Okay? And you are happy. To be happy in what you do is very, very important. To be honest with what you can do, to be honest with yourself and your surroundings, your people around you is very, very important. Then we won't overdo things. Okay? I hope I answer your question, my dear.
Yes, Prof. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Prof. Joseph.
Yes, please. Okay. There is a question for actually Prof. Khalija. Maybe you can take it next because from Sada, Fiona Sada from Asia Pacific University. Maybe in the next round. Okay. So just an info. Okay, Dr. Rizwan, I have another kind of perspective. Sometimes in the university education, we used to say, okay, let me say this way. When you join as a lecturer, you may have a master's degree. And then once you finish your PhD, maybe most probably you can be the senior lecturer. Until then, maybe we can say it is based on the qualification based. So moving from lecturer to senior lecturer, most probably is the qualification based. And afterwards, it's all depending upon our performance based, right? Maybe it's due to the publication, research grant, postgraduate supervision, even consultation. These kind of things are going to be, give you good credit for you to be moving up, whether to the next level. But sometimes we can see, and with our peers and colleagues and friends, we can talk. They may have a very difficult times, to doing this. It may be due to the family matters, or it may be due to the procedures they are interested, applying it. And then sometimes when they are keep on applying also, I can see sometimes 7 or 8 times they applied for FRGS, they are not getting it. But some of them getting it even, okay, it's just an example. So what we can see here, in the tertiary education or being in the university kind of environment, the environment is not same for everybody. After a certain level, at least, once you become a senior lecturer. But what happened, we don't know. So those who are applying for promotion, they may have something like that, and then they are moving up. That's a different story. What I'm talking about, some of the lecturers, or maybe some of the senior lecturers, we can see, they are senior lecturers for maybe, 20 years. For example, I'm just telling. Out of these 20, maybe 1 or 2 only, they don't bother, they don't bother to moving up to the next level, or maybe the promotional aspect. They are very happy. For others, we can see that they are really wanted to be promoted or whatever it is. And just because they couldn't fulfill the KPI due to various reasons. Sometimes even I have seen that some of the professors may have a students 7 or 8 times they withdrawn, or maybe the international students, they are not joining it. After joining 2-3 years, they are not continuing it. There could be so many reasons, but this is normal. But how we still, going along only based on the performance factor makes us to be the, kind of a promotional one. I do agree what actually Prof. Khalija already mentioned. So even though you may take up your time, maybe, the PhD, you can finish it in 3 years or 4 years or 6 years, but still the requirement we had to fulfill. Yeah, I agree on that. But that one mostly fulfilling in the form of an educational aspect, I feel this way. But when it comes to promotional aspect, so experience is there. So you are experiencing, your experience is growing day by day or year by year. That's no doubt on that. But in terms of the performance wise, not everybody, or maybe not most of us can do the similar performance. But is there any way that maybe the management side or maybe other peers or colleagues can, it's not like exactly the same, but maybe one-to-one, maybe an alternate way, these people also. But what happened? Sometimes we also can see, hey, that guy may not be doing good. Even after being finishing his PhD 20 years before, still he is only senior lecturer. I mean, something wrong. So these kind of things will come out. And then these days, I'm not complaining anybody here, but just sharing. Some of the juniors, those who are going up very fast, like,
following the exact tactics, applying grants nicely, and then publishing papers, they can go, then they all can say, my professor, he is not good. I know him long back. And that's even when I do PhD also, he was same, adamant, something like that. But not because, they are getting things and then they are getting promotion is the way, And this is where sometimes I feel there is a lacking in the university atmosphere. Do you agree on that? Or maybe what I'm seeing, maybe the wrong one. It's not the case in a general situation. Or maybe if you also can come across or maybe seeing it, because I can see that you are a Malaysian now in a different country and you studied at a different places. So you may have an experience with different atmosphere. So do you think, is it like a normal one, or maybe other countries or other places, they have an alternate system to overcome this? I hope I convey my question, though it's not a very straightforward question, but in a way I'm trying to say that it's not a very straightforward mechanism that applies for the promotional aspect, but it is how to overcome that.
Prof. Hanan, thank you for the questions. I think we are very, very lucky to be in the academic line, kind of like, because we don't have quota, kind of like, for example, at UNISA, after 3 years of holding your current position, you have the opportunity to apply for associate professor, for professor. There is no quota that this year or at this university there should only be 50 associate professor, for example, because when I talk to the PTD here at the embassy, some of them, they can hold the same level 44, for example, for 15 years. They cannot just go regardless how performed they are until there is a vacancy for that level. So basically that made me feel very, very grateful to be in the academic line, though they seems like having a more prestigious life, kind of being a diplomat, spending time with the ministers and also those kind of things. But still, I think we in the academic line is having our own goods in this. So in terms of promotion, before this, I definitely agree with you that before this, kind of like, I feel like it's a little bit kind of like one size fits all approach in terms of promotion, because everyone has the same criteria to follow. But I think since last year, when our government, WKPT, introduced the Orange Books, and it has started to be applied at UNISA, I think this year, that we have 4 ways to get promoted. Either we go into the teaching line, research line, leadership line. I think this is quite interesting, which shows that the ministry, the university, that they are aware of our concerns. I'm very sure it's not only your concern, it's not only my concern, it's the concern of all the academic staff members. So by responding to these concerns, by introducing 4 different career tracks, I thought like this is much, much better. And I'm very sure after a while, there will be continuous improvement in terms of how promotions will be done and all those kind of things. So so basically stay positive, do whatever you think is good, and you'll be there. I always tell myself that, and if you know that Four Seasons Hotel is one of the most successful business group of Four Seasons Hotel, and researchers affiliate the success with their slogans to their staff when they say like when serving the customers, do what you think is right to be done. They don't prescribe you do this, you do this, but then they tell their staff when serving the customer, do whatever you think are right to be done. So basically, regardless, because we we cannot change the policy. We can voice it out, we can express our concern, but It's only when they want to change, they will change. So we have no control over that. So I think go back to what we have been talking about by Prof. Khalija and all those kind of thing. Stay positive and do your very best in everything. And the key will come to us. Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Anand.
Thank you, Dr. Razwan, for sharing.
Right. Prof. Khalija, there's a question from the participants. It's from Ms. Fiona Sada from Asia Pacific University. The question to you is, if it is a case that you have done your level best, yet the staff member is still very combative and vocal, is it wrong to get assertive or authoritarian?
The straight answer is it's not wrong. But how do you do it? Okay, it's not wrong because there are moments that we have to be assertive, we have to be authoritarian sometimes. But how do we do it? Okay, in such a manner that they can accept it. Okay, so usually I can say that when I want the staff to do something, I'm given the chance, but he doesn't quite understand what I want, right? So I have to be firm about it. So I will say it firmly, okay? And then, but after that, usually I will have a nice talk with him, with that person, to explain why I do that. Okay, so that he doesn't have a bad feeling, and he knows that when I do that, when I did what I did, it's because I cared for him, and I care for the group and also the institution. Okay, so usually after I'm being authoritarian, for example, difficult, in the view of my staff, they will say that I'm being difficult. Okay, yes, I'm being difficult and firm. I say, I want this, you just show me what you have. Okay, okay, for example. But after that, after he's showed and everything, and blah, 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 and then I will comfort them back. Pujuk dia balik. And explain to them why.
How do you comfort?
Usually with my colleagues, my staff, my students, I bawa dia makan. I bawa dia keluar makan. Okay, that's very simple. And sometimes I bought them something, and then I have a chat with them. And sometimes he said, I know you have worked very hard. Okay, never mind, you can go and see your parents. Balik kampung. Pergilah seminggu, 2 minggu. Balik cuti. It's okay. I don't want to see your results, whatever. Go cuti. You see? So there are many ways. You tengok apa. You look at what he will really appreciate. Okay? He will really appreciate. So yes, it is okay to be assertive, and at times we need to be authoritarian because we are thinking for their betterment. For the betterment of our group, of our institution. That is our job. As a leader, that is our job. We have to do that. Okay? But before being authoritarian, we have to try the soft way first. Okay? If they couldn't understand, because some people, they need some assertion. Some people, yes, not everybody. Yeah? Some people, you don't have to say much. They will follow. They will understand. But some people, you really need assertion. Okay? I share with one of my experience one day. Okay, I have students, I have students from Malaysia, from foreign countries, and everything like that. One day, the student from the foreign country, a group of them, they come to see me. Prof. Khalija, I think you are being unfair. You always scolded us, but you never scold the Malaysians. Saya pandang dia. I said, okay. I said, okay, you know why? Because when I say something to the Malaysians, to this group of my students, my students, they understand me. And they follow what I say, okay? Okay, and then they come to me diligently, and then they show me the results and everything. But when I told you, you don't seem to quite understand. So I give you the chance already, and after that, I'm a little bit assertive to you. It may seem as though I scolded you, but I scolded you because I care for you. I want you to be the best within your capacity. Okay, so when we talk to them, then they realize that we care for them, then they're okay. Lepas tu I bawa dia orang belanja makan minum. Happy lah dia orang. You see? So just to show that actually we care. Just like with our children. Not all the time we pujuk, we manja, betul tak? Sometimes we are a little bit strict. It's the same with our students. The same with our staff. The same with our staff. Okay, the same. Some needs a little assertion, some no, we have to do it softly. Okay, some you can say things direct, some no, you have to make analogies. Okay, so depending on the nature of the person. Human nature is complex and beautiful. Those are challenges that will strengthen your inner self and will enrich ourselves. Every time we face these challenges, actually, if we look at it positively and if we face it positively, it's enriching our own self. Our own self.
Right.
We don't lose anything actually. Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
That's the
Prof.
first question. Yeah. I hope I've
Yes.
answered the question. Yeah. Number
There
two.
Yes, there's a next question as well from Aisha Adiba.
How do we face a boss that criticizes our attire in front of our other staff, and we start to be uncomfortable working in that environment? Because even our best seems to be worse in her eyes. Yes. So this, as we know, humans are not perfect. Okay. So we can always change ourselves, but how to change others? Okay. Now, first, you said you've tried your best, blah, 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 blah. Still, dia kata tak elok. And then, you tahu apa, you know that what she has done is not correct actually. That's not correct, okay? For me, if you ask me, you do your work nicely, okay? Be calm, okay? I always tell you all, be calm first, semayang, yeah? Buat semayang tahajud, be calm. Pray to God to give you strength, to be honest with your superior, okay, so that you can meet up, okay, and then you can open up to her so that she will understand you better and you will understand her better. Okay, so usually I will advise you, but you take care of yourself, eh? You do your work, everything you ada. If she asks you, you know how to answer already. Okay, make sure that you've done your job well. Okay, after that, make an appointment and see her. Talk to her, but when you talk to her, talk in a very tactful manner. Okay, regardless of what you've done, but to a certain extent, you have strengthened me. You've made me a stronger person. I am more alert with the surrounding. For example, like dia kata, dia comment kita punya this and that, whatever. Thank you very much. Okay, but let me explain myself. Okay, blah 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 blah. I'm trying to change. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now you cakap dia thank you dulu. Lepas tu you cerita what you've done, but you still like this. So I would like to know why. For example, kenapa macam ni? Kenapa macam tu? So get honest with one another. Okay? Get honest with one another. Now you try your best until the part that you don't get yourself hurt. Hurt meaning hurt to a detrimental level. Kalau dah detrimental level, you ask your higher boss to change you. That's it. Okay? You've got to know your level. Okay? Because the world is not perfect. The world is not perfect. Yes, here I talk about understanding this and that, but the people that we are facing may not be understandable person. And if that person doesn't want to change, what can we do? Okay. But at least we put forward what we feel and we pray God, at least they will have some keinsafan, because in the end, they are still human beings. They have hearts, isn't it? Okay. And they will improve themselves. For all you know, they will change. And you yourself, on your part, you will be stronger and you will be better from their criticism. Usually we get better from criticism. Okay? Usually we get better and stronger from criticism. So accept it, although it's bitter. Yeah? Okay.
Thank you,
I
Prof.
hope I've answered your question. Yeah?
Yes, Prof. Back to you, Prof. Joseph.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, so there is another question in the chat box. I think this looks like something similar to favoritism or maybe, kind of thing. Okay, I will read the question for you, Prof. Dr. Razwan. So in a situation where everybody in the team are seniors, everybody has no motivation to improve further. Whenever somebody performing better, then that person will be in charge for tasks like forever. Later, if the performer promoted as a leader, the colleague does not support, rather criticize, sabotage the new leader. How to handle this kind of situation? I hope to get answers from both panels. Also, maybe first let me get it from Dr. Razwan. Maybe the same question later Prof. Khalija can answer. Dr. Razwan, can you get the question? Or do you want me to?
Yes, I'm reading the last line. I hope to get answers from both panels in local Malaysia
Yes,
as well
yes,
as other countries' perspective. Though I'm in Jordan at the embassy, this kind of thing, it doesn't happen at the embassy. Why? Because embassy is just a very small, we have a very small community at the embassy. I'm leading the Department of Education. Mr. Shazwan is leading the Department of Security. Khairi is leading the Department of Palestine. So basically, we are we are the boss for each department, and then we are not even responsible. We are monitored by the ambassador, but in the end, we report to our ministry, each in each agency in Malaysia. So basically, things are okay at the embassy because you have your own office here, and then you live directly to your agency in Malaysia. So no, you are not the competitors, to each other at the embassy. It's a very nice working environment compared to the university. So because of that, I won't be able to give perspective from other countries, but I'm going to give perspective based on my experience when I was in Malaysia. So I when I read this question, I feel like I was in this boat, I had those kind of feeling, coming from a very young institution with very seniors, colleagues, and all those kind of things. I at the very beginning, I had this kind of feeling that they don't want to move further, that they have no motivation to do jobs and all those kind of things because they want to retire and all those kind of things. But those are my judgment. So those kind of things. So you will be in a phase where you feel like these people are not good, they are lazy, they just want to retire, they don't want to do their work. Those are our judgment, and then after that I started to realize that life is going nowhere with this kind of constant judgment from us about others, instead of trying to look at them from a negative point of view, being judgmental to them, trying to get into them and trying to understand and trying to develop rapport, with them. So those are for when you are in a senior, when you are surrounded by senior people, of course the pace will be different. You are at the very beginning of your career. When you want to go fast, you want to be an associate professor, you want to be a professor, and they are already there. But trust me, when you have positive appraisal of themselves, you feel much more comfortable being surrounded by them, and then you started to have an open mind and open heart to learn from their experience. They might, from your judgment, they might be very slow, they might be lazy, they might be motivated, but when you started to shift to see the good things in them, there are thousands of things to learn from them, regardless of their weaknesses, for example. I used to be in that situation where I hate all people around me because they are old, because they are slow, because they don't know how to write research proposal, because they don't know how to publish in Q1, Q2, all that kind of thing. But trust me, get rid of that phase and try to be more humble, try to receive people with more, with an open heart, with a positive mind, then you will feel like your surrounding will be different. And also on the second part of the questions, when they say when we become a leader, a colleague does not support, this one, I know it takes two to tango. They do not support, and then and the challenge is on us. What we can do to get support from them. So this goes back to our leadership skills, our leadership quality, fulfilling their needs. So that because in the end, the key of solving problems is that to have in mind that everyone is actually kind, and they're trying to work on something good to achieve something good, and we should be one of the enablers.
Allah, Cik
So
Ida
when
Hanila.
Sorry, please
so I
continue.
think, yeah, no problem. So I think when we are seen as one of the enablers to our co-workers, to people who are we are leading, it's going to be fine. They will be giving the support and all those kind of things. But stay positive, be kind, avoid judgment, and I think the whole world will be at peace when everybody have good attitude, good appraisal towards each other. And definitely it requires agency from both sides. Maybe it's easier said than done, but if everyone is aware of the need of being kind, we'll be in a world where peace is there. Thank you.
Dr. Aziza, I think you can also share the same question. We can get it from Prof. Khalija's opinion, or maybe because the chat box said both, Professor. Thank you.
Yes, Prof. Khalija. The question is if you have your own view as well on the question that's being asked, where everybody in the team are seniors, everybody has no motivation to improve further, and someone is performing better, and so the person will be in charge of the task like forever. So if he becomes a leader, the colleagues does not support, rather they will criticize and sabotage the new leader. So how do you handle the situation?
Aziza, thank you very much. So I understand the question is that people are demotivated. Yes, can you please reiterate? People are demotivated because the staff are seniors and they are not working as well. Is that so?
Yes, they are seniors and everybody seems to have no motivation.
So you are the
to improve
junior.
further.
You are the junior, is it? You are the junior surrounded by seniors. Is that so?
I think it's like everybody are at par with one another. Everybody have the same position, but it's just that maybe you're the only one who's motivated and the rest are not. And so you automatically,
work, is it?
yeah, if this, and then when you become the leader
Yeah.
because you're motivated, they're not supporting you and sabotage you. So how do you deal with the situation?
This is difficult. Yes, this is difficult. Okay. If you ask me what I will do first, I imagine myself when I first entered University Malaya. Okay. I was very different because when I came back, I started to do research already then. But back then, people were not very interested in doing research. So I was very different. Very different. Okay. So how to get in sync with them, with all of them? Usually, what I did was, and I believe it is the same for everybody, is that communicate with them. Try to understand and know them better. Appreciate them first. Sometimes they are like that, you know, they seem demotivated or something because maybe they also have some inferior feelings towards you. Because you are new, you know all the new technologies, you are at the frontier of knowledge, okay? You just came back, you are just so new, okay? You are from the 10 best universities in the world. So sometimes people feel a little bit, we do not know. We thought they are demotivated or what. But actually, sometimes when you talk to them, sometimes maybe they are also a little bit, they have these inferior feelings, okay? And sometimes they will think that maybe, oh, you are so young and this time you know this and you know that, you don't communicate with us. You're so young. You think you know better. We have been here for 30 years. We have sacrificed everything for the university. Yes. They have taught the students. They have produced all these students. Okay, I spent my 4 years, 5 years in France or whatever. I published 5 papers. They don't even publish 1 or 2 papers. Okay, but I was in a different environment and they are in different environment. So they have contributed in their way. So I had a very good time because I communicate with them. We started a tea group, what do you call that? A social group within the department. So, and then we buy biscuits, everything. We take collection. I will go from room to room to take collections from the seniors. So when I take collection, I will sit down and have a chat with them for 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, and then after that we make small gatherings. You know, we get together, and then they don't feel bad already. You see what I mean? And I remember I was given the task by Prof. Jamil to run the ISO, the first ISO. Can you imagine? So I have to talk to them because this is stupid. Why do we have to do this? Because we are not used to doing that before. Those days the lectures will come in and they just talk, even there is no lecture notes. Okay, but me, I'm the young one, so I come with my lecture notes on the transparencies then, for example. So then we talk to them, oh, this is like this. If you go for holidays, at least we have your lectures, you know what topics to do. So somebody who replaces you can do the job to replace you very easily. So you talk to them nicely, you know. Then they understand and they do it slowly and steady. We be patient, we understand them. And most importantly, we acknowledge their contribution to the institution. Okay, even though today the acknowledgement, the big acknowledgement is papers, publication, awards. Okay, you are this, you are that, you are macam-macam, kan? But them in their simple manner, acknowledge their contribution in the propagation of knowledge to the normal community. Okay, acknowledge them. Then they will feel very happy. They won't feel inferior or you know, you don't put them in the survival mode. Okay, it's as though we say that they are not relevant anymore because we are here already. Okay, don't put them in such a situation. Relax the situation, and then they can come together with you, and from them we can learn a lot. Usually we learn humility, we learn patience from them, which is not in the syllabus of the university courses. Okay, that's my answer. Acknowledge them. Then they will come and be good to you. Now, even if you become a leader, because you communicated well already with them, right? Of course, they will support you. So if they don't support you, we think back, kenapa ya? Communicate. Go and see them. Because we are at the superior level, and if we are younger, in my case, if I want something, I will go and meet them. I don't wait for them to meet me. I will knock on the door. Hello, apa khabar? Macam ni. Can I have a talk with you? Let's have a chat. Kadang-kadang jemput minum teh ke apa, whatever. Okay, kita yang pergi jumpa. Kita yang merendah diri. Sebab kita yang ingin memahami dan kita yang lebih muda dan kita yang lebih superior. So kalau kita yang lebih superior ni, eloklah kita kat bawah. Kita tengok orang kita. Kita pergi tengok dia. Because maybe they are afraid to see us. They are shy to see us. Kadang-kadang bila you selalu sangat jumpa bos, orang luar ni, kita nak faham dia, kita nak kerja elok, tapi orang luar pandang, dia tu kaki bodek. Betul tak? Isn't it? So perception is or many perceptions are not correct. Okay, so it's wrong to be judgmental. It's better to understand. Okay, to understand. You meet over there, and then you meet your people surrounding you. So then we are clear. The platform is clear. Okay, kita kena buang semua fitnah-fitnah ni. Kita kena buang semua yang tak elok ni. Okay, be humble like what our doctor said just now. Okay, be humble, accept, acknowledge. Okay, and then share with them the new knowledge that you have. I remember those days I shared with them how to do the email, you know, because those were the days. Today, I shared the knowledge. I asked my students help me. Okay, my young staff helped me with me because I'm very slow. I'm very slow with technology, but they helped me. So step by step, I learn. But every time I learn, I still forget. I still ask, and they are not angry with me. Prof. Alia is so slow, betul. I'm so slow. So, but every time I say I forget, they will come and help me. So you see, so I'm comfortable with them, and they are comfortable with me. I share with them what I know, and they share with me what they know. That's it, and then we can move forward together. And
you're very lucky, Prof.
I am very lucky, yes. And whatever we achieve as a leader, never say I. Always say we. We never work alone. Okay, and success is from God. God opened the hearts of the people around us to be together with us, to work together and achieve that. Inshallah. Be humble is a good question. Is be humble, acknowledge the contribution of all, Do not think you are above the other, even though you are at the frontier of knowledge. Be humble. Accept that. Okay? Accept others and appreciate others. Inshallah lah, I think if you accept that, you will be good leaders and successful leaders. And you will be happy at your workplace, whether you are a leader or you are just the normal peers. Okay? Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Prof. Back to you, Prof. Joseph.
Okay, thank you. But this time I also want to ask a question to Prof. Khalija, just for a while. Prof, there is a question. I think I feel this is more related to you, or maybe with your experience. If management install CCTV in office place without inform staff, what could the staff do? Or is it right to do so? Just an inquiry.
Okay. I will answer this honestly. Honestly. Management must trust their people. Okay? You must trust your people. If you don't get that trust, do something to get that trust. Communicate with your people. Management, because the failure of many institutions today is because of that. You got the top, you got the management, you got the one who work, okay? And there's no communication. It's just a seemingly communication that's there. But there is no communication. You don't understand why you are given this task to do this and that. You don't understand because there is no explanation. There's no communication. Okay? So management, you buat CCTV macam ni komunis. We are not a communist community. Okay? So this is wrong. You are, for me, if you ask me, you have to respect people's privacy, even in the office. Okay? You must trust your people. So if you ask me, it is not right to do so if you don't inform your people. Okay, you may want to do so because you are afraid for security reason, kan? If there is some case of kecurian ke, or whatever, kan? Okay, I understand. But if you don't tell people, it's as though you want to become an investigator, to look at every move of your people, that's not right. That's not right. Okay? I hope I answer your question.
Yes, Prof. Prof, that is similar.
And if that happens, as a group, go and see and have a discussion with your leader. It's always good to have a discussion. Okay? And then make it clear the CCTV is for what. Okay? And whether you need it or you don't need it. And maybe at certain place to look at certain things, right? Faham? So for what reason? Okay? But if you do it because you don't trust your people, that's just not right. Okay? If you don't trust your people, that means something is wrong in your management process. So you've got to reevaluate and to find ways to get that trust within your people. Okay?
Thank you. Prof, actually, there is a continuation of that question. In a way,
okay.
How do we face if management simply change us to other non-relevant department with short notice of period? Let's say from tomorrow onwards, you'll be going to this particular center to work on.
Okay, so this comes back to, remember in my slides, kan, understanding people, and then I said also we have to understand the reality. The realm of the world today, the reality of the world today. Okay, we are not the only one, the only institution is having that problem. Okay, all over the world, the situation is very volatile. Okay, I always say to my staff, to my young staff, and to my students, okay, in today's world, okay, from what I observe, Wallahu alam, yeah, humbly, I think for us to survive and for us to be successful, we have to be adaptable. We have to be adaptable. We have to have an open heart and adaptable. Because frankly speaking, if you ask me, if you ask me, even from the top level, I think we are not sure of what our direction is. We don't know because there's so many things that we don't understand, actually. Okay? We know we want to prosper. We know we want to have this, we have to do that. We know that we know. But how to get there, we do not know. So that is why today, if you see in UM, in whatever universities, whatever institution, ministry, even in the private sectors, you will see many things are changing. Hence, when so many things are changing, you will see that we will be changed to certain places. We will be asked to do many new things at short notice. Betul tak betul? Isn't it? Because of the environment, of the situation today. So we have to teach ourselves, strengthen ourselves to be more adaptable. So how to do that? As I've shown in the slide before, think positive. Okay, so maybe at first hand, we see that it is not relevant. But if we calm down, we take the challenge, we will see, inshallah, that it could be relevant if we know how to make it relevant, inshallah. Okay, rather than complaining because the whole situation is like that. Okay, yeah. So, okay, we take that challenge, yeah, and then we say to ourselves, from these new things, maybe I will get more information, more knowledge, and one day when I move up, these small things that I do not see relevant will help me, and it will be relevant to me, and it will help me in my future undertakings, inshallah. Have that positive thinking. Okay, and to make yourself clear, okay, your heart clear, can? Again, I always like to discuss. I will go and ask, may I know, I don't mind this challenge, okay, but may I know, what are you thinking? Why do you change me to that place? It's nice to talk to our leaders, our bosses sometimes. Then we can see the bigger picture that they are thinking and they're looking at. Okay. Now the main problem with us today is that we can send messages very fast. So we thought by sending messages we are communicating. Okay. This is the same problem from top to bottom. So we thought, oh, we have communicated to our people. Okay. But little did we know that we are just sending messages, okay? But the subject matter that we want to send is not dissolved in that person's mind, okay? So they do not digest it. So when they do not digest it, they don't understand, they get angry, they get distressed, they get stressed, okay? So we as leaders, we have to understand that. So we go down, this is when I say we go down and talk to them, have contact with them. Ask them, do you understand why I asked you to do this? Tell me, what is your perspective of what I've asked you to do just now? What do you think? Once we get those big picture, we will become better leaders. Okay. And as people, as the staff, once we take the challenge and then if we face them and ask them in a tactful manner, we will be more open and we'll be stronger and we can take up challenges and be more adaptable. And later, we will also be a successful leader. Okay, one day in your life, you will be a leader to something. Okay, you will be a successful leader, but you learn from young. Okay, inshallah. Do I answer that, Prof?
Right.
Thank you.
So we are coming to almost the end of the forum. So I would like to kindly invite perhaps Dr. Razwan first, if you can sum up in 1 minute on the topic that we've been discussing. So over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Prof. Aziza. Yeah, Dr. Aziza. So basically, staying in sync, fostering understanding among co-workers. I think the take-home message from my talk, from my session is that try to understand the motivations behind every behavior that you see at work, and you have to come to a realization that no human being has the motivation to become a bad person. So when they behave in a certain way, there must be something unfulfilled needs, the good needs that they don't achieve, and we need to help them fulfilling the needs so that the negative behavior can stop. And by having this, you avoid a conflicting relationship. You develop a harmonious relationship, which will help you to foster understanding among people around you, so that you can stay in sync for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Razwan. Over to you, Prof. Aliza, if you can sum up on our topic today.
I would say, okay, inshallah, yeah. To be in sync with our peers, with our co-workers, yeah. Number one, I think, is that, of course, we know that we have to understand each other. But for me, the most important thing is that we've got to be honest, okay, with ourselves and the people around us. Okay, so try your best in doing what you have to do. Okay, be tactful. Okay, berbudi bahasa, yeah. And then if your heart is not pleased with something, it's better that you communicate with that person. Okay, you can do, like I said, you meet them, have a discussion, or you write and so on. So then your heart is clear and you can move forward together, inshallah. Be them your superior or your staff, your peers together with you, yang same level, ataupun your staff, your supporting staff. Okay, your students, be clear about your relationship. Be clear. Okay, be honest and do it in a very diplomatic manner, very respectful manner, inshallah, I think. And please understand the reality, okay? If you are having difficulty, I always tell my people, if you are having difficulty, my dear, I am having difficulty, my dear. I talk to them, okay? But alhamdulillah, we got good sleep. But I believe my vice chancellor doesn't have good sleep because I think he has more problem than me. So when I say that, they laugh. Okay, so your KPI 2 numbers to people, it's okay. We can work it out, inshallah. If you cannot make 100%, you make 80% or 70%. Okay, it's okay. It's easier for us. But the one on top, they will scratch more their head and maybe they don't have enough good sleep, just like us. Okay, so if we think we have problem, the one on top have more problem. Okay, and how to iron it out? Talk, communicate. Okay, honestly, tactfully, diplomatically, honestly. Okay, that's it, inshallah. And of course, trust in God. Rezeki di tangan Tuhan. Situation today is not easy. Please try to understand the situation and understand each other, why things come out to be like that today. We try. And then kita cuba, kemudian kita berserah. Kalau kita salah, if we make mistake, kita minta maaf. Ya? Kalau orang buat salah kat kita, kita maafkan. That's it. Okay? Then we'll have a happy life, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up our forum session today. I would like to thank our esteemed speakers, Associate Professor Dr. Razwan, and also Prof. Dr. Halijah, for their very profound sharing. I would also like to thank our participants for sharing their questions in the chat box as well. So let's hope that the forum today has been enlightening for all of us and beneficial so that we can move forward together harmoniously in our respective institutions or organizations. So now I shall pass back the program to our MC, Dr. Hini. I think there's something exciting coming up. Over to you, Dr. Hini. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for very interesting and inspiring forum discussion and participation of so many participants and question and answer. Okay, now it's a very exciting section. We have gift we will have a Kahoot section. Okay, let's share the Kahoot section and please get ready. Okay, to the Kahoot website. Okay.
Doctor, can disable for the screen sharing? I cannot share.
You know who is the one doing it now so that we can make it as a co-host? Which name?
Digital Processing, Amirul.
Okay, sure. Sorry, thank you. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so this is the game pane. Okay, so I have posted the Kahoot. You go for the Kahoot website, and then you have to key in this game pane. Okay, so there will be questions, and we encourage everyone to answer. And those with the correct answer and quickly who send the answer quickly, you will win some presents. Okay, so we have more and more sign up. Okay, let's more. We have about 100 participants. Okay, please join. Okay, so please show the first question.
Saya nak jawab yang orang beri komen tu macam mana? Saya tak berani nak pegang apa-apa. Saya tak payah masuk email lagi.
Okay, let's see the first question.
Saya nak cakap thank you. Yeah, to everyone.
Okay, so there are choices, 3 choices. So please pick your choice. Please send your answer now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the correct answer, Dr. Razwan. Okay, there are 15 correct answers. Okay, let's see who are the winners. Okay, so these are the winners. Okay, so we have here Sarah, Amy, Petra, Rennie, Azrina, and next screen. Okay, now is a second question. What is the title of our forum today? Please answer within 30 seconds. Three, two, one. Okay, we have 15 correct answer. Let's see the winners. So we have the winners, Rennie, Azvena, Zura, CWH, Ika. So please put your email with your ID at the chat box. Okay, our organizer will contact you. We'll contact you for the presents. Next. The third question. Which of the following projects initiate the project? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, congratulations. We have 15 participant correct answer. Please see who are the winners. The grand winner is Zura. So for those the answer correctly, please send in your email. Otherwise, you can also send the email to this email. Okay, please share your email because we will send you the presents. Okay, so thank you for your active participation, and we will have the following section. So now is the closing section of the Stay in Sync Fostering Understanding Among Co-workers online forum. Today's online forum features 2 esteemed speakers attended by more than 100 participants from public and private institutions of higher learning. We truly hope that you have had a fruitful experience of learning, sharing, and networking. Without further ado, I am pleased to invite Mr. Azrul Isam Hamzah, Deputy Director, Center for Leadership Sustainability, ACAD, to deliver his closing remarks. Mr. Azrul Isam, please.
Thank you, Dr. Huni. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Associate Prof, Dr. Nur Azliana Akmal Jamaluddin, the Project Manager from UPNM, and our distinguished speakers, Associate Prof, Dr. Razwan Rashid, all the way from Jordan. Thank you for making it with us today. And thank you very much to stand by, not saying as substitute, but I would say, as a standby resource person. Thank you very much for being very helpful. And not to forget, of course, our respected Prof. Khadijah Hawang from UM. Thank you very much for sharing today. Moderators, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. First and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to the speakers and moderator, of course, for their valuable contribution in this program, regardless of their schedule, regardless of their distance, and within this short period of time, things have run smoothly since we kick off at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I would like to convey my sympathy and dua for those who were affected by the recent event of flood throughout the nation. Let us take a moment for a while to reflect and recite prayers for their well-being, and may Allah ease their burden. And I was made to aware that one of our speakers who are supposed to be here today were also affected, together with some participants from the East Coast. So let's pray for their well-being, and hopefully everything will run smoothly and they will be able to be in a safe place, and the post-flood should be process would be smooth sailing for all of them. And I would like also to, my deepest gratitude goes to all participants from all public and private universities, academician, administrator, and I believe there are also some who are outside the academic arena, and every single one of you who attended this program since morning patiently and made it such a successful event. We are always excited to learn and share with everyone, with members and partners, as we continue to elevate our skills and competency, specifically in leadership. As mentioned by our project manager today, this particular forum of the Compassionate Academic Leaders in Action, or CALIA, programs that has been initiated by our collaborator, Prof. Jarina from UMT. Compassionate leadership is not only refer to leadership pattern that is able to sympathize within difficulties faced by others, but it also gives us deep understanding on the whole atmosphere and environment in our organization. I would like to mention organization here because this is sometimes beyond what we have in the classroom, in the universities, but it also can be applicable in whichever organization you are into. And the actions taken then to overcome the difficulties, whether by the leaders or the individual or even the community they lead themselves, because they feel appreciated, respected, loved, and eventually that will maximize their true potential. We have lots of management theory, of course. We have a lot of leadership competency, be it generic or technical competency, that require us to be a good leader. However, we need leaders with souls, dengan jiwa, kalau orang Melayu katakan, that are able to understand not only the needs of the organization, but also the needs of every member within the organization. And though compassionate leadership, compassionate literally means sympathize, but in the context of compassionate leadership today, it is meant that a leader with high empathy, with soul, to bring the best out of the members of the organization. Leadership is not just about moving up the career ladder to become a boss, but it also takes what is best to a better leader, or I would rather say, to be a better self. As one of the organization member and leaders or colleagues, we are all have played a vital role in unlocking potential of our own organization. However, unlocking potential goes beyond just pushing people around, just beyond make people work for you, but it is also to unleash and unlock their greatness and potential. Employing the transformative power of education unlocks potential that revolve around enabling people to pursue a meaningful life while utilizing their own strength, capabilities, and skills. This is why we need compassionate leadership now more than ever. Compassionate leadership is not just about sympathizing, as I mentioned just now, but also having that understand people with empathy so that we are able to make people feel appreciated, respected, loved, so that they can fulfill their potential. This program is to achieve its main goal, which is to inculcate the compassionate leadership qualities among academics at all levels in higher education institutions in order to popularize the country's higher education aspiration. It also can be applicable in any sectors or industry other than academics too. Hence, this befits the function of a CAP, which is to nurture the competencies of higher education institution leaders so that they have a good level of awareness and competencies to drive compassionate leadership in respective institution. And I believe the speakers today have done an extensive job, a well-deserving job, deliberating and explaining about this issue. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please, I would like everyone, since suruh tepuk tangan, you cannot hear everyone's clapping, but send me, use the emoticon love, send your love throughout the screen, please. See, you can see all the love flying there. So thank you very much to our speakers for today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, valued participant, I've picked up 4 pertinent points throughout this program. First and foremost, in relation to understanding human nature and behavior is not an easy job. However, it defines the response on specific issues and individuals. With an open heart and clear mind, we are able to see beyond ourselves. We can see others. We can unleash their true potential. Number 2, the 5 C's method mentioned, which is own your behavior at work, to stay in sync with colleagues at work and find balance among those C's. So again, this is not easy job to be done, but as a group, as a leader, and as a member of the organization, we can do this together. I remember just now, Prof. Khalijah put an analogy about organization is like a human body. And I would like to add, each and every human parts have their own roles and very pertinent. Just imagine one particular leg refuse to stand on that particular day. It makes you hard and difficult to move around. I would put it in a manner that the leader is actually like the heart of the heart, whereby it pumps the adrenaline, it pumps the energy to the whole body so that every single part of the body can move and work functionally. Number 3, the key point that I take here is certain attribute that we should have been fostering understanding is communication. Sometimes communication is not about talking to others. Sometimes it's about listening, observing, and also understanding and analyzing what's happening around. So a good leaders don't talk much. They listen, understand, and create a healthy environment so that everyone will be happy and can deliver their best at work. On that note, probably we don't need to install CCTV at work. That's what's been happening as one of the questions been raised just now. Change starts from ourselves and it revolves among the people around us, and later it spreads to others that are beyond our circle. This is a positive ripple effect that we would like to see. So before I conclude, I hope all the participants have benefited from this program. The sharing on how compassionate leadership should be is not about how do we want our boss to be. We should take it as what kind of leader that every single one of us would like to be and aspire to be. We don't normally able to choose our bosses or colleagues, but we do have the chance to choose to change ourselves, to be a better person and be a better leader for the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Secretariat team, UPNM, UTA, UTEM, UUM, UNIZA, as ACAP strategic partner for this particular program and making it a reality. It is indeed a good program, and I believe that everyone has benefited from it. And as the main organizer of the program, we hope that this knowledge sharing session doesn't stop here. I want to see the ripple effect that I mentioned just now. Be there, be the catalyst, be the agent of change. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone. And over to you, back, Dr. Huni.
Thank you, Mr. Azrul Islam Hamzah. So we have come to an end of the closing ceremony, and we would like to extend our gratitude to Higher Education Leadership Academy, ACAD, University Malaysia Terengganu, UMT, speakers, Professor Dr. Halijah Awang from University Malaya, Associate Professor Dr. Razwan Abdul Rashid, Director of Education Malaysia, Jordan, of the Malaysia Embassy, Jordan. Moderators, Professor Dr. Joseph Anand Tanggaras from the University Technology Malaysia, Malacca, and Associate Professor Dr. Aziza Maina from University Malaya, and also my comrade working committee members. So now we would like to have a good photo. Okay, so coordinate the event. Now we like to invite speakers, Prof. Khadijah, Dr. Razwan, moderators, Prof. Joseph Anand, Dr. Aziza, and all the participants. Please turn on the camera. We like to take up this moment for our group photo. Okay, technical team, can you take page by page? Okay, here's page 1. Okay, next page. Cheers. Okay, next page. Cheers. And next page. Cheers. Okay, technical team, have you taken all the photos? Okay, so thank you all, and please do not forget to send your feedback. Okay, you will receive a digital certificate. For the winners, please send your details to the email to the Dr. Lin. Okay, and you will receive the presents. So we thank for your participation and support for this forum, and we hope to see you soon in coming ACAP activities. Thank you once again for your support during this challenging time, and we pray for those victims from the disaster and family, so that they will be safe and recovering soon. And salam hormat and goodbye. Stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.
Okay, terima kasih. Selamat tahun baru. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
Terima
everyone.
kasih.
Thank you, Azrul.
Terima kasih.
Thank you all.
Terima
Merry
kasih,
Christmas to those
Prof.
celebrating.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
everybody.
Bye.
Tengok pokok Christmas. Okay.
Team members stay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.